Alright, so College Success and Cultural Capital by Alondra. Okay, so what are the most important values and beliefs? So, influencing your life would be my parents that always taught me to get education and for my future so I can get a good paying job. The kind of support I receive is from my parents and family regarding school and education would be they said if I continue my education, they will provide a home, a car, which later on I bought my own car. And then they have never supported me with money because I do get a lot of scholarships and financial aid, so that really helps me out. And then they always support me on any career decision. It's just what makes me happy. So how many generations has your family lived in the U.S.? So it'll be my parents and uncles that live here, some of them, and then it's us as their children and my cousins. And then lately I had two cousins that had daughter, two daughters and one son, and then my sister herself had a daughter. And then, what do you consider your primary language? Did you have any difficulties learning to read or write the English language? My primary language would be Spanish. My parents are Mexicans, and no, English came to me naturally just because I did talk Spanish at home, and then in English in school it was all English. Did your family have more than 50 books in the house when you were growing up? What type of reading material were in your house when you were growing up? So no, my parents have never had books in the house. If they did, it was just like a Bible or like any religious thing. And then so my reading would come from books I would buy from the book fair or like English homework I had to do or any kind of homework. Did your family ever go to art galleries, museums, or plays when you were a child? What type of activities did your family do when their time other than work and school? My parents were always hard workers, so like they never really had time. They barely had time to like just sit outside in the patio as a family, or like family will come over or just sit out there. The only thing we'll do pretty much like just all six of us, well seven now with my niece. We'll go like to beaches, lakes, but lately since quarantine happened, we haven't been out. And then how would you describe the neighborhood where you grew up? Very friendly neighborhoods. Calm around except like the freeway being really noisy. I live in the country, so I have like a lot of free space, and everybody looks out for each other, no matter what. And then what illegal activities, if any, were present in the neighborhood where you grew up? So I had crazy neighbors. Before I had like the friendly neighbors, I had really crazy neighbors. They had a lot of parties. Cops were always called by one of my neighbors that lately moved away. And then what employment opportunities were available to your parents or family in the neighborhood where you grew up? Employment that was available was farming, packing houses, fields for them, and much more. And then, do you have any immediate family members who are doctors, lawyers, or any professions? What type of jobs have your family members had throughout their lives? My sister is a nurse, and she is the first one actually to graduate from college and become something bigger than as a career. And normally, like the jobs here would be like fields, packing houses, like I mentioned before, dairies, and much more. So why did you decide to go to college? What was your influence to continue or complete your education? I decided to go to college to get a career and have a like good paying job. I also wanted to make my parents proud and accomplish my goals that I wanted. And lastly, I wanted to be a good influence to my little sister like my older sister was to me. And does anybody ever encourage or prevent you from pursuing academics or profession careers? No. Everybody I have ever met has supported me. Do you consider school easy or difficult? School for me is easy until I became a full-time employee and a full-time student. What has been the biggest obstacle for you in obtaining a college education? So Wi-Fi has always been my biggest obstacle since I've lived in the country, and it's really hard to get any kind of Wi-Fi like AT&T or anything. Like it will not reach out here. And what has been the greatest opportunity for obtaining a college education? So one would be like the ability of learning sign language. Without even knowing, I learned sign language. I went up to I believe the second or third one, and I'm just waiting for that moment. I'll use it. And then, how did you learn to navigate educational environments? Who taught you in the in and outs of college? So the persons that taught me the in and outs were my high school counselor and principal, and my sister.